And around the world on MikeO'MaraShow.com. What more can we do for you? It's the Mike O'Mara Show.
Pretty good get from a news standpoint, Rob
Yes.
and Oscar, today on the show. We have the uncle. We have standing by now the uncle of Tamerlan and Dzhokhar Tsarnaev.
Is this the uncle we've seen already?
I don't know if we've seen this uncle or not. We've seen a couple of them on TV. And,
Right.
maybe you could ask him if he's one of the
Excellent.
ones we've met
Okay.
so far. But I'd like you gentlemen right now to meet the uncle of the Boston bombing suspects, Miros Blohardalis.
Sir?
Miros Blohardalis, please have a seat.
Quite the guy.
Closer to the mic, sir, if you would.
Yeah, thank you. Just pull that up to your face there.
What do you want it?
I want it closer to your mouth, sir.
Try to point it. Yeah, there you go. That's a little better.
Oh, you sound great.
That's perfect.
That's good.
Is that okay?
No,
That's nice.
My first question, and may I call you Miros?
You call me whatever you want.
All right, Mr. Blohardalis.
Blohardalis. Miras Blohardalis.
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 Miras
Miras
Blohardalis.
Blohardalis.
Yeah, you make fun. I know you do.
No, not at all.
Yeah, you do. You make fun.
I don't.
He does make
That's
fun.
what you.
My question.
Americans make fun of me.
Well, him
I'm
in
sorry.
particular.
I am sorry. I don't speak with the same ways that all of you do.
Well,
It's
first
quite
of
all
all,
right.
thank you for coming in.
Whatever.
Now, are you the uncle that we've seen on TV?
Huh?
Have you been interviewed on television
Yeah,
before?
As America's
they
next
come the
door.
cameras. They come with the cameras to the house. I talked to them a couple of times.
They come to house?
How well did you know your nephews?
You reporters with mixed lies all the time.
It's just a question.
That's the questions. Oh, yes, question. The big microphones on the porch.
All right, well, let's
How we pick up
know a
sound.
little bit about you.
Yeah.
Do you live in America?
I've been in America 47 years.
How long?
I sell tires.
Okay, you sell.
Used tires.
Used tires.
Where do you live? What
Queens.
What state?
Queens.
What?
Quinn?
Queens.
Queens.
Queens, New York.
Oh, Queens, New York.
Yeah, Queens, New York. Like,
Queens.
stupids. Don't do.
Queens.
I didn't know.
Queens.
I
It's
didn't
a big
understood.
place.
It is a big
Big place in New York. Lots of people, famous people.
Do you like famous people?
Yeah.
Like who?
I don't know.
You like it there?
I like it there. Oh, you cares? Why don't you go home to your loves and makes the babies?
What?
Ask the question all the time. What do you think? Why
Well-
you do? I don't know. These
Well, this
boys,
is
This is a big event, and Americans are curious.
I'm related, but I do not know these boys that swells.
Oh,
You don't?
Nah.
No, it's a tragic event.
It's okay.
What?
But no,
Yeah.
it's not okay.
Well, it's tragic, but that's not my fault. I don't know. I don't have anything to
Why
do with
did-
it.
no
Why-
one's saying it's your fault.
Why did you immigrate to the United States?
This thing, they all with the questions, all of you, the question. This stink like the fishes with the bad things on my kitchen floors.
You have fish on your kitchen floor?
No, that's not what I mean. It's an expression.
Oh, you turn a
Okay,
phrase.
God,
Yeah.
don't you know? Why are you rubbing your head?
What?
You
It
got
is.
headaches?
No, I don't have headaches. You think it's funny?
That's the first time
If I have a
smiled.
headache?
That's the first times I smiled in 1 month.
Now
Really?
Now you make fun.
Yeah, I make fun of you. Doesn't feel good, huh?
No, not at
No.
all.
Right, yeah,
When
yeah.
is the last time you saw your nephews?
Why do you ask these dumb questions again and again?
So Americans
These
wanna know.
boys were framed
Really?
Really?
like the pictures of your grandma.
But you said you
frames in the little boxes.
didn't know them that well. How can
No,
you say
I didn't
that
know
they're
them that
framed?
well. They came, they call occasionally.
Then how do you know they were framed?
They were frames. They don't. They're good boys.
Good-
Come on.
you
But you
Shut
said
up.
you didn't
Shut
know
up.
them.
How many times-
Shut up! I know them. They don't. They framed.
Do you
You do
sw-
know them, then.
Yeah, you do.
Well, who asked the questions? You do. You both asked questions at same times.
I have a question.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Yes.
So, while I understand your plight and your concern for your nephews, really one nephew at this point because one has passed.
Yes. Yeah. It's too bad.
But
Bye bye.
what are the
Boom boom.
Will you be at the funeral?
what are
No.
the video evidence?
You reporters like to take the picture of people who have nothing to do with these things. Why you don't look in the army tanks they have with the big guns to shoot the buildings?
Well, yeah, but that really doesn't have anything to do with this.
It has it. They shoot the big buildings.
We're trying to get insight into your nephews, and
Get what?
We're trying to get
Eyesight,
insight.
I have good eyesight.
No, understand.
I get the perfect tires.
We're trying to understand.
You
your
take the
confused-
pennies
Yeah.
and put in the thread. You say this is too thin.
Oh, because
You
you're
need
selling
new-
used tires.
You need new ones.
Yeah, that's important.
That's
They have-
it. I got great
it's
eyesight.
safety issue.
Do you
Right,
recommend
right,
all
right.
weather or seasonal?
I don't care about nothing. I have to cook cabbages for my babies too. It's in the kitchen.
Now, do
That's
you,
nice.
Their nutrition is better
Yeah.
than you Americans with the American hamburgers
Right.
with the coverings of onions.
Do you
on them.
prefer Fox
Cabbage.
News or CNN?
I don't watch any of that. I read the newspapers from Kazakhstan.
Oh, which one?
Don't tell you that. That's a private matter.
All right, let me ask you this. Here's a
You
different
know what
tack.
I want to know?
What would you like
I
to
want
know?
to know. I know that in the winter the brown fox will crawl into his hole, sleep the winter sleep, and come out only in times for spring to eat the weakest baby birds who struggle on the grounds because they fell out of nesting place for the bigger bird who cannot feed but tries to fly but they can't, okay?
Right. It's nature. It's
I
a circle.
guess.
That's it, nature.
Circle of life.
So you ask questions of me all the time, you big jerks.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Why do you think that boy hid in a boat?
Oh, the question why? I'm not in the boy's brains.
That's a good
No, that's
question.
I'm not in the boy's brains. I don't do the stupid things he does. Why you do that? And he was framed up.
Framed?
They cut him in the leg, they shoot him in the eye, and they put him in the boat with cranes.
Mac or PC?
I got the PC.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, IBM him.
Which one?
IBM him.
Oh, it's a good one.
That's what I got. Questions. If you came to my home country, you would see that the peoples all like to laugh and fight. We have food and good times, pleasure. All the times the women cover themselves for not to get grown men agitated for sex.
Right.
My wife is stronger than any man. With big fish, she lit the back of pickup truck car.
I believe
Wow.
With firewoods.
But full of firewood.
With firewoods in it.
That
She's
makes her very strong.
Don't worry about it. She's stronger than both those boys.
They say there's a. You said
She
there's.
catches them, forgets it.
Yeah. Well, I hope she does.
Break them over her
You
legs.
say Mr. Miras?
I love this country.
Miras?
Oh, do
Yeah.
you?
You say there's a lot of fighting in your country.
Yeah, we
Fighting
fight.
and laughing.
We food and fight.
Do you?
We eat the cabbages with salt, pepper, and then we have big fight.
Did you ever?
Men and women.
Did you ever
Yeah.
fight?
Women have to take off their headdress to fight, though.
That's the rule.
You can't tell the difference sometimes.
Do you like a woman with or without a headdress?
I love this country. Why
This
you asking
America?
about my
You
I
love
know.
America?
But you American big shots think you're so special with your fart phones and typing machines to
Smart.
let everyone know everything you have to think about.
Yes. Oh,
Yeah.
Shut up for 1 second.
Okay.
Okay.
Smell the rose on the bush.
What?
Instead of the smartphone with the fart stone.
No, smartphones. But you're talking
Yeah,
about
whatever,
Twitter and
same thing.
Facebook.
Do you
all
stop
the
picking
posting.
this tab?
Exactly.
You pick the tab. You pick the tab
I-
all the time.
the
You
ex-
pick the tabs
the-
all over till the blood runs down the leg like a river.
I believe the expression is picking the scabs.
Oh, eat my hair.
Eat his hair.
Eat my hair until you choke on it like the starving dog on his hind's quarter who licks himself like a devil to see.
Not familiar with that one.
Wow.
I picks off my word.
What?
I pick off my word and throw it in your soup
Oh.
for you to eat my poisonous body parts.
Now here's a
Please
question.
don't.
Before you said that's just an
Kiss
expression.
my toe spaces where the bad things collected smell like breath of a sour pig's rear end.
I like some of these expressions.
I think
Suck
these
the
some of the,
earwaxes out of the goat's head to make you sick for weeks.
you listen about your nephews.
Shove a small hammer into the smallest hole of the bodies that you have on this earth.
Wow,
Have you
that's
spoken
quite
to
an
your
insult.
sister at all?
Take your white's finger and put it in the stinky place of the diseased
He
cats
seems
that
to
run
be-
around all your sister's houses. Oh, pretty meow.
Do you think it's okay
He's
to
ignoring
download bomb plans off the internet?
Eat a big plate of bad things that comes out of your neighbor's fish.
Wow. I think he's ignoring your question.
I just have a few more
Tickle
questions.
my hanging parts with your chins to see my looking down on you with smile, laughing at how ugly your faces is.
Have you ever been to Boston?
Have you ever takes your thumbs and sticks it in the holes of 1,000 old men with fat stomachs?
I just want to know, are you aware of what happened at the marathon? Do you find it hurtful for the people
You
of
got
Boston?
to stamp and stutter.
You've thrown me. You've
You
thrown
with
me.
the Elmer Fudd's head.
You with the warts.
Pull out all your tooths and suck the carrots of a diseased prison visitor.
Oh, that's horrible.
Follow old dogs out into backyards and scoop up what he leaves with your grandmother's dinner plate.
Do you think
What
there
do you
was?
think of that one?
Why are you being so hostile?
Hey, you're hostile, huh? Go find an old uncle with heads cold and lies down on his used pillow to chew on his leaving things.
Are you the old uncle?
Pull off your nipples and fry in a pots with
Okay.
onions and feed them to your mama in the hottest days of summer.
Was it on purpose that they used two bombs strategically?
Spank the behind of 1,000 chickens with diarrhea.
Oh, we're really running out of time.
Why all the insults?
Thank you very much for having me.
It's the Mike O'Mara Show. You can listen to the Mike O'Mara Show at www.mikeomarashow.com.
Stay tuned for an outstanding entertainment program.
It's the Mike O'Mara Show.
I love to make people laugh, and I've been doing it since, school. People ask me, you must have been the class clown. And I say, no, I wasn't. But I sat beside the class clown, and I studied him and saw how he made people laugh. And so I picked some things up, and at parties and family functions, I have to say, I love, breaking people up. My father, bless him, brought me into the business. This was his dental practice before. And I joke with my wife that, at that point, that's when the money started rolling in, Brave making more wampum to buy pelts. One happy squaw in wigwam, happy as mongoose. That is, of course, from Johnny Carson, who one of my heroes in a very funny bit.
It's the Mike O'Mara Show. Mike O'Mara, Buzz Burbank, Rob Spiewak, Oscar Santana. And now, from his couch, here's Mike.
Live from Studio 1K in the Pfeifferplex Broadcast Center, this is Mike O'Mara Show. Mike O'Mara Show. I'm still doing that character.
This is Mike O'Mara Show.
1,000 nipples.
We are downloaded worldwide 17.5 million times and powered by Encore Insurance. We're at MikeO'MaraShow.com, 102.9 FM WTNT in Washington, D.C., and the mighty 1630 KCJJ in Iowa. Today is Tuesday, April 30, 2013, and we are brought to you by Sherry's Berries.
Delicious.
A mom is someone who's caring, nurturing, and selfless. But that... excuse me.
That might be Mom.
Hey, babe, thanks for calling at the beginning of the taping of the show. Bye-bye, I gotta go. Okay, thank you. Love you. Bye. Thank you.
Was that Carrie?
That was my wife, Carrie.
A mother-to-be.
A soon-to-be mom is someone who's caring, nurturing, and selfless. My mistake. A lot of things going on, a lot of moving parts today.
That's right.
Forgot to mute the phone. What are you going to do?
It happens.
But that could be a lot of women who also deserve to be remembered. With Sherry's Berries, you can show them all how grateful you are. Giant, fresh, dipped strawberries from Sherry's start at just $19.99. That's 40% off. Go right now to berries.com. Click on the microphone and type in TMOS, and you can double the berries for just $10 more.
Doppelberries, Mike.
Enormous strawberries, fresh and juicy, dipped in white milk or dark chocolate and topped with swizzle, chocolate chips, or nuts. But there's only one way to get these limited time prices for Mother's Day. Right now, berries.com. Click the microphone, enter the top right corner, type in TMOS2. Try to get it all in for them because they demand it, but Sherry's Berries, we love them. Thank you.
Love her.
Let's get Dennis Hoff on the phone,
Yes,
shall
can you
we?
dial him up for us, Pony?
Let me see. Bring your U.S. government tax refund checks to the Bunny Ranch.
That's great because so often now it's hard to find a great place to cash your checks.
And the bunnies will double the value of the check. That is Dennis Hoff's stimulus program.
Double value.
Our good friend and the mayor, the unofficial mayor of Reno,
Yes.
Mr. Dennis Hoff, who runs the Bunny Ranch. You've seen him on Cat. It's Rob, it's Mike, it's Oscar, it's Buzz. Dennis, how are you?
Wow, I'm great. I just woke up with the University of Michigan cheerleader. Say hello, Chrissy.
Hello.
Hi, baby. How are you?
Morning, girls.
I'm doing awesome every day.
Who has the worst morning breath today, you or Dennis?
Domino, his dog.
Domino, his dog.
Dog.
Let me just ask to
that
paint a
is
little
kinky.
picture here. Is Domino in bed with both of you this morning?
No.
No.
He's in bed with her because I'm in my office now.
Oh, you got her on the extension. Okay, she's on the extension.
We did this thing with Domino at Domino Hoff where we put a camera on his head on Friday and Saturday nights, and he gets all the panty and leg shots at the Bunny Ranch. It's hilarious.
At Domino Hoff on Twitter.
Oh, that's wonderful. Let me say, Mr. Hoff and Domino. Domino's the dog.
Domino is the dog. The lady, I don't know if we've got her name.
What is your first name, my dear?
My name's Christy.
Christy.
Of course it is.
Let me thank Christy. Let me thank.
Christy, Krissy.
Oh, with a K,
Chrissy.
Mike.
Chrissy, Mike.
I'm sorry. It's my advanced age, darling. I'm sorry. I can't hear as well as I used to.
Mike.
Chrissy, I need to thank Dennis because Dennis was so gracious to make time for us when we came out to our sold-out show at Circus Circus in Reno. Dennis, you were a very nice man to join us live on stage there, and we will always be grateful for that. I hope you had as much fun as we had with you guys.
I thank you. We did, and you know what? Next year, Chrissy, you're going to have the time of your life. We had hot sauce. I get emails all the time from people saying, "That's the best hot sauce I ever had. Where can I buy that?"
It's delicious.
So,
Oh my gosh, it's so good.
Yeah, it's Hoff sauce.
It's Hoff sauce.
Well,
Yeah.
Chrissy has one too. You know, Chrissy was a University of Michigan cheerleader that was a fan of Cat House since she was 15.
Really?
This is why you put parental blocks on your television.
So,
That
Dennis,
will end up with me.
Dennis,
That's
you got the ranch, of course, and then you've got your own home. Do you have I picture you living in like a J.R. Ewing style house in the desert somewhere. Do you have like a big palatial Wayne Newton style estate? Of course, Wayne doesn't own his anymore.
No.
What are your digs like? You're when you want to get away.
Well, I keep a house in Tahoe, and then I have a horse ranch 12 minutes from the bunny ranch that goes for a mile, and we got a bunch of horses and swimming pools, and it's the party place. And I have another home that has an indoor swimming pool and it's just a party house.
Do you use a lot of chlorine in that pool?
No, not at all.
That's Rob. That is not very nice to our guests.
I was just kidding. Chrissy liked it.
Chrissy laughed. Chrissy laughed out loud. So,
Chrissy's the hottest thing you ever seen. Go to bunnyranch.com site and look at her. She's on the front page.
will somebody bring up the Bunny Ranch webpage for me so I can
I'll
look
see
at
if
Chrissy?
I can find it.
I'm on
And
Domino.
those are kind of old pictures. I have a Twitter. It's Chrissy Summers 88, and it's with a K. And I've updated pictures. I recently just had a breast augmentation.
Oh,
Nice.
let's give that a round of
God bless
applause.
you.
That's
I'm
terrific.
on your dog's
Did they
Twitter
need
page
it?
right now. Let me tell you, that's the most perverted dog I've ever met.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So you've done.
With father like son, though, right?
Oh, there she is.
He gets all the panty shots that are amazing.
Oh my God, they just get younger and younger, don't they? My God.
Yeah, well, Chrissy's real special. I mean,
Yeah, she is.
Pony boy, keep that angle over here. Thank you. It motivates
fan of
me.
the show, but she left the University of Michigan cheerleading and graduated, and then came with me.
What is her degree in?
I had a degree in public relations and business, so I had a
Chrissy,
Not bad.
Chrissy, your abs. It appears that you do a lot of ab work. Do you? Is that just what nature gave you, or do you do a lot of crunches and sit-ups and things like that?
You know what? I was a gymnast, so you know what? It's my mom actually. I can't believe I'm bringing my mom. My mom.
You're in panic. Stop it, Rob. Behave yourself.
My mom actually had a very nice body, so I get it from her. But I was also a gymnast too, so that really helps. And my stomach's even looking better these days. I'm even more fit now. So like I said,
It's those giant boobs she's got now. Guy Fisher, the celebrity plastic surgeon, got her. That make your stomach even look better.
Wow.
yeah,
Hey,
that make my stomach look even flatter. So I
Chrissy,
always get complimented on my stomach and my butt.
hey, Chrissy, you went from what to what when you got the boob job? You went from what size to what
Oh my
size?
gosh, a 32A, probably even less.
Wow.
There even is less.
And what are you now, darling?
You know what? I went to Victoria's Secret yesterday to get, measured, and I wanted to buy my first bra, and I was a 32 double D.
Oh my!
Wow.
That's a
Wow. Do you fall down a lot, dear?
I'm gonna throw some pictures up now, and so is she on our Twitters, and so you get instant pictures. In fact, Rob, I'll email you some.
Outstanding.
Rob
Send them
likes
directly
him.
to me.
He likes them better than anybody else. Let me read from the press release here. This is regarding the fabulous promotion as reported in the Huffington Post that you can bring your U.S. government tax refund checks to the Bunny Ranch, and the bunnies will double the value of the check. If this is not a stimulus program, nothing is, ladies and gentlemen.
I want to tell you, that is wild.
And it says, this is a quote from you, Dennis.
Mike,
Yes, go ahead.
here's what happened. I like Obama, but his program didn't work as effective as it should have. So I'm having my own, and we're changing the economy, because here's what happened. A guy comes in, and he brings his tax refund check, whether it's $200, $2,000, $2 million. I don't care. We double the stimulus. Then he picks a girl like Chrissy, and she had one a couple of weeks ago. She's going to tell you about. And then she takes that money and gives it to Guy Fisher for boobs, and gets extensions. Some of the girls get extensions, and get their nails done, and we keep that money moving. And that's what our economy needs. So I'm just giving back
Absolutely.
to America.
And you're trying to give back. That's the important thing.
Yeah, Chrissy, tell Mike and the guys about your stimulus party.
Okay, this guy came in for a stimulus party. He saw a picture of my feet that Dennis posted on his Twitter before. Yeah. And he really liked it. He really liked that I had small feet, and he really liked the red toes. So he came in, he wanted a foot fetish party. Right. And he really enjoyed that, so he came in a day late, 2 days later, and he wanted the foot fetish party. But this time, he wanted me to pretend I was Bella in the movie Twilight.
Right.
Oh, my God.
That's fair.
Wow.
Yeah, so he wore a cape, and he wanted me to wear vampire fangs.
He wanted you to wear vampire fangs?
The whole scene. Yeah, vampire fangs.
Wow.
Wow. I've been trying to use Carrie to not use teeth for years.
Chrissy, can I ask you a question about business?
Yeah, of course.
Chrissy, okay, so a guy comes in, sees you on the website, and a guy comes in on a Friday night and wants to party with you in particular. Because I'm always curious about this. And Dennis, if I'm asking a question that's out of line, you can stop me. But a guy walks in.
Hey, this is Eric Ronick from Black Gold.
I don't know if it's Eric Ronick.
It might be, though.
He wants the company of Chrissy for, let's be reasonable. Let's be even generous. Let's say 1 hour.
1 hour.
Wow.
Just 1 hour. He wants Chrissy all to himself.
An hour of heaven.
How much? If you're going to double his check. If you're going to double his IRS check, and he's got a, let's say, $500 refund from the IRS.
Right.
Is that going to work for him? Will he be able to take that check and nothing else and get an hour with you, Chrissy, or should he have to have perhaps a $1,000 refund?
Well, we work with all different budgets. It all depends on what type of party and what type of activities. I don't go based so much on how long somebody gets. It's more of the experience and the type of activity. But I definitely give somebody a really good party, and they definitely get a long time with me.
Chrissy,
would I be safe to say the question was not answered?
Not answered.
All right,
and
okay.
I have a follow-up question.
I don't want to quote prices. I want somebody to come in and see me first.
Yeah.
All right, you want somebody to say, all right, let me.
How long, what you want to do,
right.
what sweets you want to do. Do you want to drink Dom Perignon or Budweiser?
I get it. I get it.
It's what you choose from the menu.
Price, I always give them a little bit longer than when I say
now see, that's and that's giving back too.
That is a stimulus package. Yeah.
That's wonderful. What were you going to ask, Rob?
I was going to ask Chrissy.
We've had 197 as of yesterday stimulus packages, and all this started because I love it when guys come in here and they do this ritual.
Yeah.
They bring their first Social Security check in, and we open a bottle of champagne.
Sure.
I've been given to the government. Now the government's get paid for my party, and they love doing that, cashing their first Social Security check.
See, that's nice
free
for the seniors. Social Security checks. You know what? Hell, by that time in my life, who knows? Maybe I'll bring my Social Security check along.
And if you're old enough to have a Social Security check, you're going to need a full hour.
That's fantastic. What's going on in the world of television, Dennis? What kind of shows are we going to see in the next year or so? What are you doing on TV? I know you got the HBO show.
Thank you for asking. We're starting to shoot more of Cat House now. We've been on 12 years, starting our 13th. Now that my knee, I had a knee replacement, as you know, and now that I'm back to normal, we're going down tomorrow. We're going to be on Russell Brand's show. Watch that on FX on Thursday night.
Very good.
A fun show.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're starting on our next year.
Make sure he wears a condom. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah. Our next year of Cinemax's Working Girls in Bed, which was a big hit. We did real well with that. So lots of television, lots of fun stuff. And I mean, I'm going to have fun with Russell Brand because I spoke at Oxford University. He hasn't.
Yeah, I remember that.
True.
You said that at my show. Dennis, you rock. It is always a pleasure. Chrissy, you're beautiful. We see your picture on the website here, and we hope you give out lots of stimuluses this coming
Stimuli.
night. Stimuli.
So
Thank you,
We're gonna
guys.
put a bunch of pictures up on your Twitter, Mike, and we'll get it out there. And remember, guys, we'll leave the red light on for you.
Oh, fantastic.
Bye, guys.
Great friend of the Mike O'Mara Show,
Take
Mr.
care.
Dennis Hoff. Give him a round of applause.
Bye, Chrissy.
Bye, guys.
Fun.
Bye-bye. See you later.
Bye, doggy.
Thank you. Wow.
Oh, that's always a
roller coaster.
experience, isn't
That's
it?
I tell you, that's just that's working double time right there. Doing an
She
interview
is
with him.
a University of Michigan graduate.
The
She
first word is
said
cluster.
she has a degree in public relations.
Does she know
I'll bet.
which way the phone goes?
Now, I think you assume because she is a creature. Do you realize those ladies on average I watched the show Cat House, and I believe that they are talking about maybe $200,000 a year.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about intellect. I'm not talking about her income. I'm just talking about when you ask her a question, and what I hear is,
well, that may have had something to do with the phone.
With that, but he's always been a friend of this show.
A good guy.
And he seems to, you know what, I've noticed over the years, Dennis Hoff seems to have a type.
Yes.
Because, they're wide, but he likes the little perky blondes. That's what he seems to like. And if they're not blondes, he'll turn them into a blonde.
That's because for years he was boning Katie Couric.
What are you looking at over there, Oscar?
Dennis Hoff's dog's Twitter account. It's at Dennis Hoff. Not safe for work. But the dog, all it has really is just pictures of whatever camera strapped to the poor dog's head.
Legs and stockings.
You know, that's probably not a dog. That's somebody like some intern getting down on all knees.
Before you reveal it, don't you picture Dennis Hoff's dog as a bulldog? A sloppy, drooling bulldog with a camera slapped to his head?
No, probably more like a hyper lab.
Yeah.
Oh, really? You think?
Lots of crotch shots.
Yeah.
You know, dog level, I imagine.
Well, whatever the dog is, it probably has a really long tongue. Thank you very much. Anyway.
Good night!
Oh, my. Good night, everybody. Well, I tell you, that ages me. Interviews
How
with Dennis
successful
Hoff.
is he, though? Think about that.
He is, there was one, the reason I asked about the money, there was one particular episode of Cat House where money came up. And I'm thinking seriously, like you go in there, you got a couple $100, you're a guy that's a hard-working Westerner out there in Reno, Nevada, and you're going out to spend your paycheck, a part of it, and no, those young ladies, that is buku dinero.
Yeah.
Like, we'd have to ask. I mean, we did the show out there, but I think it's over like a grand. I think really, if you're going to have any fun at all there, you got to spend.
I can't tell you, Mike, because all of my visits have been comped.
All for free.
It's all on the menu.
Oh my God! Lots to talk about on the show. We'll take a break. Come back. This is the Mike O'Mara Show.
Dennis Hoff with these.
Anyway, welcome back to the Mike O'Mara Show. This is a segment of the program brought to you by Pro Flowers. You may laugh about it now, but there was a time you gave your mom a lot of grief. Now's the time to make up for it. For Mother's Day, go to Pro Flowers. Pro Flowers has a dozen rainbow roses. They sent us some of those. Carla opened them, and they are absolutely beautiful. Just $19.99, or double the roses and get chocolates plus a premium pink vase.
Doppel roses, Mike.
Chocolates plus a premium pink vase.
Yes.
For $29.98. That's 50% off. Just use the code TMOS when you order. Pro Flowers, guaranteed to last a week or your money back. And Pro Flowers was recently awarded highest customer satisfaction among online flower retailers by J.D. Power. We use them. We love them. Remember, to get these special prices, go to proflowers.com. Click on the microphone on the top right-hander and type Pro Flowers, Pro Flowers. Order now. These special prices expire soon. Proflowers.com.
Mike, 'tis the season, is it not?
It is the season.
What, with all the gifts for Mother?
Yes. Make sure you mention. And we are happy to mention that at Pro Flowers. They're a good partner of the show. On the program today, we got to talk about this Jason Collins deal that he has come out, because that is in our backyard as a player for the Washington Wizards. And when I was doing this morning, I said one of the things I was going to write down was how soon before somebody, somewhere in some sport or some analyst comes out with something on Twitter, and I should have known that as I spent a little more time researching it, they were already out there.
Absolutely.
That the NFL player, let me see what his name is, the NFL tamer, the Miami Dolphins named Mike Wallace, which is funny right there.
Now, he's no longer with 60 Minutes. He's playing football.
Mike Wallace, the Miami Dolphins' new free agent wide receiver, must have seen the news about Jason Collins of the NBA coming out of the closet today. That, or he has the worst timing in the world. He wrote, all these beautiful women in the world, and guys want to mess with other guys. SMH. What is the SMH?
Shake my head.
Shake my head.
Shake my head. All right. So he is, it was only a matter of time before, you got that kind of homophobic response.
I've heard at least one tape of one NBA player saying, well, this just goes against God, and I can't.
Actually, I think who you might be thinking of is an ESPN analyst.
Chris Broussard.
Chris Broussard.
I have that here.
I have his tape if you'd rather hear it than read it.
Let's listen to this. He sparked an uproar with the Jason Collins remarks. And, there was no waiting on this, fellas.
No, they brought it right to the forefront.
Everybody's talking about how it's not a big deal.
Right.
Well, it won't be a big deal. It'll be a big deal until this kind of stuff it just doesn't happen. And you still get guys that are doing this. Let's listen to the comments of Chris Broussard.
Personally, I don't believe that you can live an openly homosexual lifestyle or an openly premarital sex between heterosexuals. If you're openly living that type of lifestyle, then the Bible says you know them by their fruits. It says that, that's a sin. And if you're openly
and on, but he's saying it's sinful.
No, here it is. It's perfectly a free country. You worship the way you're supposed to worship.
What you wish.
You believe what you're a broadcaster in a national environment. You put your religious beliefs in your back pocket. That's your job, idiot. Chris Broussard, who doesn't know that because he has been blessed as a decent broadcaster to get gigs where he is on the national stage. I assume he is a former player. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I do not know. Is he a journalist or is he a former player?
I'll give you an answer.
And that's not the tape I heard. So there have been a couple of comments.
So he's gone on and
Here's
on.
the thing, though. I mean, there are people. What some of these people look. It goes without saying, but I have to point out to a guy like Chris Broussard. There were people historically that were persecuted for what you just said.
Yes.
And history shows that it happened. There were people that were persecuted for being African American, for being Jewish, for being Irish. The fact is, that is your belief system, and a lot of people don't believe in the people that cover their heads and walk out into supermarkets, and they kind of look at that. But we tolerate everybody because we are a tolerant society.
That's what our country was based on.
That's what that's what the America is based on.
Supposed to be, yes.
Many conservatives have banded with Broussard as the reaction came in. Commentator Michelle Malkin tweeted that Broussard's critics were part of, I love this term, a tolerance mob.
Yes.
Oh, the worst kind.
That is the worst kind.
Oh my God,
mob.
What they do is they get together
Yep.
and they roam the streets.
I know.
And they accept.
Trying to force people to be agreeable.
That's right.
He's a sports writer and now TV columnist.
So he never played the game.
All right. So he has not played the game, and it's interesting that he's able to get away with this because it really does fall into the category of bigotry when you're coming out and say you kind of keep it to yourself, and people say, well, it's not bigotry if if that's your religious belief. Well, that's fine, but you keep your religious belief. You don't. Brian Williams is not able to spout off about his religion.
And when will he come out of the closet? The first working news anchor to come out of the closet.
And listen, we have been, fortunately, not through my entire career, but for most of my career, I have been treated very, very well within the gay community.
Yeah.
That was not always the case.
Because you're dazzling.
When I had Maurice Butkus, who was a very effeminate sportscaster, and I thought it was fun. It would have been fun because I poked fun at sexuality to have the sportscaster on our show, the old Don and Mike morning show, be gay.
Right.
Well, we had enough heat and we had enough pressure where that went away. Just yesterday, before all of this became a news story, I was talking about the lesbian fun that I had over the weekend.
Right. Yes.
But during that entire discussion of fun and people that are different sexually than I am, there was no hatred involved in that.
Nothing disparaging.
That was love. That was fun. That was enjoying it. I enjoyed every minute I was in there. I thought it was great.
You might as well have been commenting about someone's hair color or the way, if they all had matching shirts. It was just an aspect of the story. There's no hatred to it.
So here's the question I have. I mean, back in the day, when you had Jackie Robinson breaking the color barrier.
And he was straight.
He was...
Because I've seen his wife.
But he came out as black.
That's right.
Yeah.
But that happened, and now, and everybody is, at least we have enough historical perspective in this country where now we know that it's going to be the same way. That eventually it's not going to be a real issue.
Right.
The only time it would be an issue is if you had a player hit on another player in a locker room situation, and
they're pros.
That has never happened, and that just doesn't happen unless you've got a
Theismann.
Constantly.
I'm kidding, Joe. I'm kidding, of course.
So, do you guys believe that this is going to just wait? 10 years? This is going to be? It's not going to be even an issue.
I don't think it's going to be an issue in 1 year.
Really?
No, that's too. No, there's too many people that think like Chris Broussard that they're going to sit around and always quote the Bible or think that it's unholy. There's always going to be people like that. What I believe, though, there's a majority of people, and they're going to learn from guys like this that they can't. They got to keep their religion in their back pocket if they really want to be in the public in a public forum with a public voice.
Right.
I will say that it'll take about 10 years. I believe, though, this will open the floodgates for other players to have the courage to come out within the next 1 to 3 to 5 years, especially an NFL player. That would be the pinnacle of this.
Yeah, because the NFL has that kind of reputation.
We were expecting, we were expecting the NFL to be first. Will Jason Collins be picked up? He's a free agent now. Now that he's come out, will a team pick him up?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Good. I hope so.
Because you've got the reactions from an organizational. I said the Canadian pronunciation, an organizational standpoint. I've been watching so much hockey.
Yeah,
I've been watching so much hockey. I'm starting to speak like this is a great organization. No, organizationally, you've got at the top levels, you've got the endorsement of the Washington Wizards, where they're coming out and saying it's brave.
Good.
So this guy floating around,
Kobe
there
Bryant,
will be, so to speak,
right?
there will be pressure on the league from the league if this doesn't happen. But I don't think it's going to happen. I think he's a what 7 foot tall center, and that's that's still a hot commodity in the NBA. I think that's going to do well.
I think this dust is going to settle faster than you think. I think it's going to be faster than what Oscar said.
Let me ask you another question about.
Okay.
I have always, and I think in society, when we watch our pop culture, we always perceive that the land of the right-wing Christian fundamentalist is the land of the white male. And, what I have noticed is there seems to be a more vocal presence within the Christian African American community, or maybe it's just because you have more athletes in certain sports,
right?
But you seem to hear a lot of that coming out of the African American community. The first guy, to make the comment that's that's a player right now is this guy Jason Collins, and I've heard other comments made by African American players. Do you think that this is more of an issue with
I think it's cultural.
The African American culture, the African American culture?
Latinos, for the most part. I remember when Ricky Martin came out.
Right.
What?
I remember it was like, my mom was like,
Rob, Ricky Martin's gay.
My mom was freaking out. She's like, I can't believe it. I said, what? Have you not been watching his videos and listening to his music?
Yeah. She was upset about Ricky
shocked.
Martin. Wow.
So it's like this old school mentality, and that's for Latin American culture, but I can't really speak for the African American culture, but I know that there's a term that they use, because my friends have used it who are African American or black, and they say like a low down brother.
Right.
And so, like, nobody really wants to be
incredibly derogatory.
Yes.
Like really bigoted.
Yes.
Over the top homophobic.
Yes.
Like nakedly homophobic.
Yes.
And that's the point, and you're not going to hear it. You're not going to hear it on a lot of shows because it's a hot topic. It gets brushed aside a little bit, but I'll point out right now that, it should be, because that's really nasty stuff you're getting. And if that's happening within organizations, it means that we're not progressing like we should, and you got to shout that down. That's got to go away. Just like discrimination against anybody needs to go away, you need the majority to make sure that kind of crap doesn't happen.
Black churches, you were asking about this, were instrumental in overturning Proposition 8 in California. The Mormon Church was also, but black churches were very active within California to defeat gay marriage in that state. Culturally, I think.
But no matter how vocal this conservative movement is regarding this guy coming out in the NBA, I don't see how it's that different in a sports organization as it would be for a politician or a businessman. There's going to be people, it is a first, but there's always going to be people that hate the different, and they're going to come down against it. And I think, Oscar, 10 years, I think it's going to be a speck in 10 years.
Maybe 5.
I think even less.
Between.
I think the dust is going to settle really quick.
The difference is, and this is to be very clear, is the way that people do business. A politician goes home and maybe sees if he's gay or whatever he is, he sees a significant other, and that's it. These players, especially the hetero-homophobic ones, are going to point to the fact that they're naked in the locker room with these other guys. And if you've got another man right there that you think is staring at you because you're so homophobic, then you're going to have a problem with that. You're naked with these other men.
And it's the problem with those homophobes. It's not the problem with the gay player.
Clearly.
And really, and from the organization standpoint and from the league standpoint, those days are over. leagues aren't going to tolerate it anymore. We'll have to wait and see what happens.
Well, and these are their careers. These are their jobs and their careers, and I think almost to a man, they're professional.
This is a great step in the right direction.
I agree. And I think this guy should be proud of himself that he came out first. I think that's a terrific thing. We'll keep our eyes on this and let you know what's happening with this particular story. When we come back, I want to talk tech with this whole Google Glass that's come up again, and I want to find out all about it because it does, to me, look pretty cool. We'll take a break. Be right back on the Mike O'Mara Show. Welcome back to the Mike O'Mara Show. It's funny, you're playing Credence.
Right.
And I thought about World According to Garp.
Right, great movie.
Where John Lithgow plays the transsexual tight end for the New York Jets.
Right.
Who goes, I love Credence. Or at least John Lithgow said that in a certain movie.
I can't even remember that.
On my mind is...
That is so great.
That's like within my own dome. That's my attention deficit disorder.
But
that within my head, as I'm getting ready to tell you about Vistaprint, my brain's going...
Why settle?
Why settle when you can select? This portion of the Mike O'Mara Show is brought to you by Vistaprint.com.
Got mine.
You got your personalized... Oh, look at that.
Isn't that awesome?
Nice, Elvis.
That's great.
That the Elvis Presley estate does not make any iPhone accessories. I designed two different, a fat and a skinny Elvis.
That is
iPhone case for myself, and I love it.
Oh, wow. Rob got his done at Vistaprint. They can personalize your iPhone cases. This is huge. I know a lot of you are responding to this. It's easy to design an iPhone case for every part of your life, your company, your team, your family, even just a personal message, and they start at just $9.99.
Yep. Wow.
You can walk into any of the stores, and you will see these cases at $35, $45, $55.
I spent it this weekend because they don't make one for the iPod for my son.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, and I got soaked.
And those are not the customized ones.
No.
A customized one for $10.
Yeah.
A good investment for your business, and Vistaprint is the small business's best friend, offering quality and affordability for marketing and printing. We do use them. All iPhone cases are 50% off for TMOS listeners, and if your order tops $30, the shipping's absolutely free. Satisfaction always guaranteed. Go to Vistaprint.com/TMOS.
And I bought a one for Carrie that's Duran Duran.
Oh, God.
That's what she likes. Yeah, that's her favorite band. That and R.E.M.
That's her favorite band?
Well, that's
How
her
do you
era.
tolerate that?
Well, that's the least of the problems.
My God.
There are men, Mike.
That's really her favorite band. Her favorite band is Duran Duran?
I think she saw them like 8 times in the 80s.
Give me a Duran Duran hit off the top of my head.
Rio, Hungry Like the Wolf.
Hungry Like the Wolf, 80s music, yow.
And
Girls on Film.
Blue Moon on Monday.
And does she like the look of Duran Duran?
She dresses like them.
That's so sad.
She looks like John Taylor.
It's so sad that you're follically challenged if she likes that big hair from the 80s.
I think all of the members of Duran Duran are follically challenged now because they're 80.
Let's talk about tech for a second here. I was watching that show that I don't watch anymore today, and they had Google.
Boy, you glossed that, pal.
Google Glass. I said I went back to it.
I know.
I go to it when there's not anything, tragic going on.
Right.
Google Glass. It looks cool. You wear it like a pair of eyeglasses, and then you can command it. It takes a voice command, and you can get it to do different things.
You can.
Are you familiar with this product?
I am.
And do you like this product?
100% envious of anyone that has a
You
pair.
can see women naked with these, right?
No,
X-ray specs.
It's really kind of right now it's an infancy because one, to get a pair of Google Glasses you had to be pre-selected, but they had a big public competition where you'd have to tweet in and say what you would do with your Google Glasses. So a handful of people got these around the country.
I'm waiting for the Google sunglasses, Mike, because otherwise, why wear them during the day?
The catch is that they had to pay $1,500 just for the access to the glasses themselves.
How much?
$1,500.
Oh, see, I'm sorry, I'm out.
And besides, you don't even have vision insurance to cover it anymore.
They can't really sell them, but if you want the best explanation that I can give you is imagine kind of a heads-up display.
Horrible website.
A heads-up display on your glasses, or even if you don't wear glasses, just when you're driving around, you could possibly get directions.
Oh, so the website's not working.
Right on your glasses.
There is a computer built into the glasses, but it does it Bluetooth to other
communicating to
right?
your Android phone. That's the problem. If you have an iPhone, I'm almost positive you cannot use this technology.
That leads me to another question
it's
about
connected
technology.
to your phone. Your phone is the big computer that's running your
Oh,
radio.
Okay, but it's got a small processor built in.
Yeah, but it's communicating with your glasses.
All right.
So this would be an example of perhaps people
It's wireless.
starting to do a little end run around the Apple Corporation. Why is not
they've been
the
doing
great
it.
god of Apple ahead of this?
No, I don't know. Maybe Steve Jobs died and then they stopped innovating. But I'll say this:
that's unfortunate. They've just stopped.
I saw a Samsung S4 yesterday, and that's the new Samsung Android phone, and it is gorgeous. I'm actually thinking of making the switch. That's how beautiful it was.
The new Android phone?
The new Samsung S4.
Hey, then you can give your upgrade to Shannon.
It's amazing. She doesn't deserve it.
It's still
You're saying?
it's still Android technology, though. Right?
Yes, it's Android technology.
Still hard to use.
There's a big to do. There's a big no. Actually, I would say that for an Apple user making the switch, vice versa, there's always going to be kind of a learning curve. But we said the same thing about going from a PC to a Mac.
Right,
where we're like, I can't believe we're going to do this. I don't know, ever want to change, and we have. So I'll say,
I never said that.
With Google Glass, it is something that we'll see more and more often. I believe that this technology is going to run into a few roadblocks as far as the rules and regulations of how we use it. Already, you can't walk into a bar or a bank with Google Glass. Some rules have been brought down that way.
Certain banks.
Yeah, certain legislators have said that they don't want people driving with Google Glass because it's
what's
distracting.
amazing? That's amazing to me that before the technology even is widespread, you've got people going, hey, watch out for that. I smell lobbyist with that.
Strip
I smell
clubs-
somebody who's, oh, really?
Strip clubs say you can't use Google because with Google Glass, hypothetically, we could have a conversation right now.
Yes.
And we wouldn't be in the same room. You would see my heads-up display of what I'm looking at. You would see if I'm looking at Rob, you would see what I'm looking at Rob as well.
Also, you could be shooting video,
It's
which
like
they don't want you
it's
to
like
do.
you're Skyping, but you're Google chatting.
I hate to sound stupid, but what do you mean heads-up display? What are you seeing?
So
when
you
you
get
look through the Google-
or
because
really,
there's just like one thing,
or really
right?
point of view. So
Okay.
you have the point of view of myself and what I'm seeing. So if I had the Google Glass on and I started a chat or Google Hangout,
Right.
you would see my point of view of what I'm seeing at all times.
Oh wow.
We are Borg.
Yeah, and you know what? I think there's a problem because none of the anchors on the Today Show were able to make it work right. And I really did enjoy. They say that
Did
one
you
of the ways
see it when
to
Natalie Morales got into somebody else's
yeah, she was
account?
like sending emails.
It says 59. She's such a bubblehead.
Oh, she is.
It says 59 minutes before I get home. I'm seeing directions to home. Duh.
And don't you activate the Google Glass by cocking your head? So what I liked that there was one point at like 20 minutes after
And Natalie
7.
Morales does that every 6 seconds.
Well, 20 minutes after 7, they went to Savannah Guthrie, and she was going like, take a picture, take a picture.
There's clearly some refinement and real education when it comes to these
it
glasses.
looks so damn cool, though.
But it is the future.
It's not quite here yet.
It may not be the Google Glass that we see today. I imagine that these people that were lucky enough to pay the $1,500, I say lucky because they're really experiencing new technology at your fingertips. Will refine it. Google will go back around and
for
improve
those
on the
people
product.
that might be behind on this, let
Yes.
me just bring them up to speed because I did want to get something that clearly stated what we're talking about. The embedded camera obviously does not need a viewfinder because it's simply recording your first-person perspective,
Okay.
allowing you to take snaps or footage of what you're actually seeing. That's why you were talking about looking over at Rob.
And strip clubs. And
Any function that requires you to look at a screen could be put in front of you. Controlling this data is the next neat trick. With a microphone and touchpad on one arm of the frame, you can select what you want to do with a brief gesture or by talking to the device, and Google Glass will interpret your commands. Google Glass can also provide sound with bone induction technology. That's cool.
You know what? They have that
Bone
at the,
induction
They have that at
technology.
Dennis's Ranch.
I know. Thank you, Rob.
we are getting very close between devices like this and motorized, computerized prosthetic limbs. We are getting very, very close to part human, part machine.
Oh, I agree with you, Buzz.
Very close.
And we are also probably getting close to, there will be, if you're going out, the only privacy you're going to get
There's
is
no
when you go
privacy.
into your bedroom and you shut your door and
Even
you turn
then.
off all. But still, you're not going to be able to, you're not going to be able to go out and do anything in public.
No.
Where you're going to be private.
Do you know what I think with the next frontier is? And I think I mentioned this on Tech 411. I believe that where you're going to see this technology really, really take off is at concerts, celebrities using them for some sort of either open access or pay subscription access where you can see a day in their lives.
Yeah.
And you can log in and be part of this first-person perspective
You
of
could
what they
spend
do
an
throughout the
entire
day.
day, Mike, like just sit back, pay your money, and be Hal Linden. for a day.
And then
why do you have to reference someone that's not even above ground
How is that
anymore?
your go-to?
He's alive. I
or
think.
Why is it Hal? Is Hal Linden
I
still
think he's
alive?
not only alive but fabulous.
at the next Super Bowl show,
Yeah.
instead of seeing like these big contraptions on, and people have tried to do this in the past on the celebrities, whoever's playing the Super Bowl, whether it's a Beyonce or a Madonna
or Hal Linden,
you'll see them wearing the glasses, and you'll be able to watch a second feed of what they see while they're performing.
So the little screen that is above, I think,
It's also a camera.
It's by the right eye.
Yes.
You actually, if you are focused on it, the screen appears to be as big as a computer monitor.
Yes.
And if you look past it, you don't see it.
You don't see it.
So they're just playing with your field of vision.
10 years ago, I would have told you, well, that's going to be impossible because we've all seen these cameras, where they're jumping all around. And the technology of stabilizing camera shots, which we utilized, and you'll see
Amazing.
clearly in evidence when we released the Spring Break home movies.
Right.
And it just astonished me that, and that's where I give the iPhone 5 its props, that
Yes.
you've got this amazing camera that not only is as clear as I've ever seen, but has the stability where
compact.
you're holding this up. Everybody's seen the horrible videos that we used to look at of cell phone cameras where you'd see something and it's just terrible. You look at them now, and universally they're phenomenal.
Especially the ones we shot in Florida, because at least until 6 p.m. we all had the shakes.
Shaking your head. The delirium tremens.
Yeah, please don't let Jimmy shoot any more
say something
video.
about the shakes.
The shakes?
Yes.
Did he steal your joke?
Yeah, but that's fine.
He
it
does.
happens.
That's what he does.
It happens.
He says you can't keep up.
I know.
Sometimes it's very quick because that's all he's doing. When he gets out of his
I know.
car, he starts thinking like that, and that's all he does. And sometimes it pisses me off. Most often it doesn't, though.
That's all right. That
Why?
happens.
But why do they call it singular Google Glass? Shouldn't it be Google Glasses?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a marketing term. All I know is that when this first was announced, there was a handful of people that were like, oh, this is cool. I actually doubted. I said, this is going to be the worst thing ever, because I didn't think they could get the technology right, because people have tried to. If anybody's ever gone to like you remember Sharper Image or even a Brookstone, they used to have these like theater model glasses that you would put on,
and it would make it look like a huge screen when in fact it was just lenses in front of your eyes.
Yeah, and that was kind of cool. But you thought, oh, if this is somewhere anything like that, it's not going to be nice. And then the hype and really the promotion, and then the first-hand accounts of this that people have written that haven't been paid by Google, they said that they feel like they felt when they first picked up an iPhone. It's a completely new experience.
Listen to this. Third parties are also already developing some rather cool / scary apps for Google Glass, including this is amazing, including one that allows you to identify your friends in a crowd. Now we're getting into science fiction.
But you know what? That is something that you can do now on
technology exists.
No, but on Facebook.
Yeah.
If you upload a whole bunch of
faces.
pictures, it'll say this guy is the same guy as this guy is the same guy and this guy. So when you're tagging photos, it picks you out. And you know what?
That's like when you see
I don't care for it.
That's when you see the cyborg. It's like there he is. Tear his head off.
Sarah Connor.
Casinos have been doing this for years to be able to pick a face out of the crowd on the floor.
Facial recognition.
Yeah, what they do is
absolutely.
they have the cameras programmed to find Mike and say, make him stay as long as you can.
Give him a little win here.
In the
Man,
end,
that'll wet his apple.
Table 5 needs a beverage.
Mike, in
He's
the
dry.
end, we get it all.
That's amazing. Well, it'll be cool to keep. I don't know. I probably feel like most Americans do on this, where I like it, but at the same time, it kind of wigs me out. It
You
freaks
can't
me
stop
out.
it.
This is how new the technology is. A user put his Google Glass on eBay as soon as he got the invitation, said he picked it up. He's good to go. And Google, who owns eBay, found out, and the eBay had gone up to $80,000+. Because you can't get them unless you were selected by Google.
And were you going to pay the
And no,
$80,000?
they shut it down. They said they're within their bylaws and their contract.
They can't.
You cannot
sell
it to anybody.
That is
How
funny.
were you going to pay the $80,000 with PayPal?
Oh yeah, please. I was late to that bid.
And as we mentioned before, Oscar mentioned it's $1,500 for the cost of this right now,
And
that'll
people
be-
feel honored to be able to give them $1,500 for that.
And that will be within within a year, within 2 years. That'll be half or less than half.
It'll come down
$3.
It'll be $3.
Well, there'll be two kinds, Mike. There'll be the actual Google Glass and then the drugstore ones.
Let's move on to something. You know what? Let's say we talked about all this technology. Let's talk about something sweet. Will we get Buzz Burbank tomatoes this year?
Lord, I hope so. I have no idea.
Did you replant them?
Yes, I did. Here's what happened, and this has never happened before. We put in the tomato plants, and we never put any kind of fence around them. We don't usually need to. Later in the summer, the deer will come along and sometimes bite into a green tomato on the vine, but it's a circle of life. It's nature. You let that live.
We have a tape of a couple of the deer that were out. You got this tape, amazing audio.
This is what it sounds like, really.
Off your deck. This is me. Listen to this.
Boy, they're big.
They're fierce and hungry.
Huge.
Yeah.
Aren't they?
Yeah.
Eating the tomato plants.
Fearless, really.
Right. Listen to that. Did you all see my crepe myrtle out in the front yard?
I didn't even notice it because of the rain.
The weather, it's raining. We just dodged in.
That's the tree that I have planted out in the.
You planted a tree?
No, the guys from the nursery did.
Oh.
And not the tree nursery, the actual nursery down the street. No. Some guys came out and planted it in the front yard.
Were they from another land?
They might have been. They might have been right.
They referred to it, Mike, as El Crepe Myrtle.
Bless them.
Yeah. And we were just sitting there talking about that NBA player that came out of the closet for hours. No. They came out yesterday. I got up at 6:45. What are you playing?
I'm playing pastoral music because you're the gardener. He is the gardener.
So we're going to get them? You're going to replant them?
Well, they've already been replanted, and I put a nylon net around them. They've eaten the tomatoes before, but they've never eaten the plants. So now I put netting around the plants, and hopefully they'll be able to grow up and produce tomatoes.
Did you take a leak outside again?
Not yet. I have to wait till the rain stops, because the rain will just wash my urine away.
And keep in mind, when Buzz does that, he does it with his hands on his hip.
You know how you really can take care of that problem?
You were there.
I was there.
You should give his radio partner a call. Give Chad a call.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, dear, you like those plants?
Funniest response I got on Facebook was from a guy who said, Buzz, I have a recipe for venison chili that uses tomatoes.
Wow, in what order?
Of course, you're in a real suburban area.
Yeah.
You start
you
start shooting a gun though. People are going to come running.
What about a bear trap?
Yeah. Maybe I did, but that'll hurt them. I don't want to. I just want to run them off.
What if you poisoned one one of the plants?
Well,
only one.
See, I don't like killing animals.
No, just enough to make them ill.
No, you just get yourself like a deer rifle.
Okay.
No. Yeah,
what about a Vietnam jungle ditch?
No, see, listen, all I have to do...
Cover it with branches? Yeah.
All I have to do is cover the perimeter of the garden with urine and maybe some hot sauce.
Boy, bring those tomatoes soon.
They hate hot sauce, and the urine of any meat-eating animal will drive them away.
Get Dennis Hoff on the line.
I tried that at American University.
How'd that work out for you?
Right outside my door. Perfect.
Yeah. Never had any deer in your room?
No, not at all. 2 years, perfect. Nobody come across that line when I was getting jiggy with it.
The reason Buzz can't use a rifle in his neighborhood, Mike, is every time he shoots a deer, they start swimming.
Talk about the pool?
Yes, the competitive swimming pool. The pool up the street.
Right. The Olympic-sized swimming pool. The neighborhood pool club that's directly in back of his yard.
They think the race is starting.
They do. They all jump in.
So yesterday, 6:45, I'm out here in the front yard.
In the dark.
And I was transferring the flowers to the other bed. It's the only gardening I have ever done.
And you were in the rain, in the dark, gardening. Way to go, Gomez.
In my adult life, this is how big a deal this was. This is the only time I have ever, and I was transplanting some flores from bed 1 to bed 2, and
Did your neighbors plant the wrong bed?
What they did was
how dare they?
They planted, my wonderful neighbors planted all the flowers out in that flower bed.
That.
At the same day, I was going out to the nursery to look for a tree, and they had them planted in the middle of it. And I said, guys, I came out and I said, I'm going to have to put a tree here. I said, no problem. But I couldn't ask them to dig them up and replant them. That was too much.
How tall is your crepe myrtle?
It's right out front.
Well, I'm going to look at it, but I can't now.
It's like 6 feet.
Nice.
Really?
It's 6 feet. Nice. Ooh, nice.
What's so important about crepe myrtle?
It's a beautiful ornamental bush.
Yeah, they're pretty plants.
And also they have really cool bark. The wood is really neat.
It peels off. Yeah, I have one myself.
And it's going to and you know what the color is?
What?
Washington Capitals fans? Rocket Red.
Red blossom.
Nice.
Fat Baby T-shirt fans?
There you go. Right there.
Rocket Red, baby. It's going to be a rocket red tree. And you know what's going to bloom, they tell me? In July.
Yeah, late summer. Right.
So I will have a yard that is technically full of summertime
color.
I can't wait.
I'm very, very excited.
Did you wear
about
a big floppy flowered garden hat when you were planning?
No, and I had to
Like
do...
Nathan Lane?
Look, since I've been in my 20s, Carla will tell you this also, since we've been married, I do not like to twist, bend, or kneel.
But this was a good thing you did.
I did. Well, we'll see if they take, because
Oh, the beautiful tree. I just looked it up.
if you want to talk about a half-assed transplant thing, I dug the hole, threw a little handful of topsoil in, and mashed it down there.
That's how you do it.
And
Mostly,
we'll see what happens.
did you put the root end down, or did occasionally you put the blossom end in?
It was
I put
early.
the root in down ass.
It was early morning.
That's what I
Why
did.
didn't you plant a cherry blossom?
Because there are too many of those around here. You
He's
know, and
been
I
waiting
get
for years for the Japanese to send him
And
one.
I don't want a flowering tree that's going to come and go in the spring. I want something in the summer that's going to be hardy, and the bulbs or the flower. Oh, I'm tired.
He kept breaking his teeth on the pits.
This is BS.
This is a perennial. It'll bring you many years of joy.
FML. Thank you very much. We'll take a break. Come back with Rob and the Magic Audio Vault right here, everybody. Are we back?
We are back.
Are we back, John?
Yes.
Welcome back to the show. This segment of our program brought to you by our good friend Mr. Rory Callahan at RC Kitchens.
Yay.
It's spring, time for kids to track all that crap into your house. How would you like a nice brand new mud room?
I'd love it.
So it's not an ugly mess, and you can organize it and you can make it look good. RC Kitchens can turn your messy entryway into an organized and attractive mud room, and they'll do it in 1 day.
Wow.
1 day.
How many days?
1 day.
That's all?
All because RC Kitchen's experience and expert planning. Get a mud room in 1 day and get it for $300 less when you tell RC Kitchens you heard it on the Mike O'Mara Show. That's
Nice.
$300 off, people. From D.C. to Delmarva, estimates from RC Kitchens are guaranteed accurate. Even if you're outside the D.C. area, they can help you. Call on Rory Callahan and his crew today. Here's his number, and he is a local advertiser,
Yes.
our favorite kind, 301-537-3515. That number again, 301-537-3515 or at rckitchens.com. That's it. Let's open up the audio vault for today, April 30th, 2013, everybody.
Been a while since we've heard from this guy, Mike. But somebody sent me a tape of Jerry Lewis yesterday that I have to share with you. This, I could only estimate it because there's no date on the telethon tape. Looks to me like 82 or 83 for this one. And that would put him right in the middle of his Percodan addiction.
That's funny.
And this is great because this goes back to the days when he actually did the overnight.
Okay.
And at one point during this tape, he actually takes a big swig of his milkshake. And what I loved is when I hit play, at one point he says, "No, I don't need the cards." And I literally licked my lips and rubbed my hands together.
Sure.
Because
he's
when
gonna
when Jerry goes off the cuff, this is what happens. Tell me if this isn't the weirdest thing you've ever heard.
I don't know if this makes a lot of sense. No, you can put the cards away.
Uh-oh.
But do you know that last year there was about $80 billion spent in this country for coke,
Cocaine.
heroin, marijuana? It's scary. Every day in the port of Miami, they're picking up $1 billion worth of cocaine. If I can get a child out of a wheelchair,
You're
I don't care where I get the money.
Wait.
So you big wheelers and dealers out there
Oh, no.
that are so high right about now anyhow,
He's asking coke dealers,
Drug dealers.
for money.
Yes.
For his
Yes.
Yeah, that's
I
where
don't
the money
care
is.
if you're getting $500 million in cocaine.
You
just to
big wheelers.
to get the kid out of the wheelchair.
Hey, lady!
Remember, Mike.
This is the 80s?
Remember the key
82.
The key words. I don't need those cards.
He's high on blow.
ain't gonna miss getting on a phone and saying, yeah, why not? Wouldn't you like to think that what you're doing might just eradicate one of the most vicious, lecherous diseases on the face of the earth? I'm not condoning what you people do,
Condoning.
but I sure as hell would love to share some of that loot with you.
Wow.
Oh, my God.
It's definitely off the cuff, Jerry.
And to the guys on the take, don't take so much. Give us a little. We'll hear about that. Oh, yes. Yes, Super Jew did it
You
again.
know,
Crowd laughs nervously.
You follow that.
I will tell you, Jerry,
Nobody can follow that.
man, there's a reason why you fell in love with that during the 80s, because you would get that.
You would.
off the cuff, weird. It's there's too much controlled media now anyway.
When he would do something like that in the late night, I would sit forward in my chair and watch the TV close because I said, "There's really no idea what could possibly happen."
To be honest with you, there's a fascination with that kind of broadcasting that people my age and in the 10 years around both younger and older my age, where we love that. And it's kind of the reason when people really get off on us doing one of those drinking shows.
Yeah.
Because people love that complete, uninhibited. And
Anything could happen.
He was uninhibited.
You
there.
give him a lot of grief, but that's the reason why Tom Bergeron did the telethon for so many years, is because Tom Bergeron loves live television.
Right.
He does Dancing with the Stars, and he would do the telethon for 6 hours.
Yeah, but that's not really... I don't count that as live television.
Well, you know what? It is the
because there he is with a teleprompter in front of him. Here we are.
But if you put him on the telethon, that is the last bastion of live television.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really exist anymore. So anyway...
But still, Jerry had cue cards and that type of thing. But when
I don't need the cards.
He doesn't need the cards. That's fantastic.
Anyway, so I want to thank... I wish I knew the name of the gentleman. 2 or 3 people sent it to me yesterday.
We were talking about Jimmy Kimmel being on Bill Maher. And Jimmy Kimmel was on Bill Maher last week.
Yes.
And when I watched that, it kind of indicated to me also that Jimmy Kimmel, get him out of that little on the card thing. I've seen Conan O'Brien and Jimmy Kimmel, and they have
Did
brilliant...
Kimmel disappoint you when he was first to go off the cuff?
Oh, big
really?
time. Yeah, because Kimmel is, I think,
very prepped.
Well, no, I think Kimmel knows his audience and doesn't want to do anything to rub his...
Yeah.
He's not going to say anything that's not show friendly.
He even said to Bill Maher at one point, "I'm a DJ." It's just that he and Bill Maher...
I'm a dumb guy. Letterman does the same thing. Yeah. I'm a dumb guy.
Right.
John Stewart, on the other hand, John Stewart takes chances. And John
he
Stewart goes on the show,
brave.
and he'll say whatever pops into his mind.
He can back it up. He's got the brains to back it up.
Well, maybe you're right. But I don't know. I think that I think Kimmel's got plenty of smarts.
Sure,
I really do.
He does.
Maybe Kimmel exhibits his smarts by not going outside the box.
It's funny, but I'd love to see those guys in more of a free-form environment. And even on the old Tonight Show, there was just less control.
You're
We're
right.
all controlled by, not necessarily censorship and all that. We're controlled by the audience that we know so much about. The people that like us. The people that want a certain thing. That's tough.
Kimmel
All right,
nervous.
speaking of people that we love, Gary Busey, who unfortunately was voted off the Celebrity Apprentice this week.
He speaks his mind.
He does. The reason he was voted off, I'll save you the clip, but what he wanted to market, they had to come up with something for the LG Corporation.
Yes.
And he was going to market a mechanical dog.
Wow. Wowzy woo-woo.
The commercial, he was going to play the dog, but let's move forward.
Yes.
They put him on the Fallon show last night to do Busey karaoke. Mm-hmm. But all they did is they would play a song that had no discernible melody, and he would make up the words. So here is Busey karaoke, Mike.
I'm Gary Busey.
Is that him?
Yeah, it sounds good.
On my creation.
Do you know
What the most dangerous thing
the most dangerous thing?
in the water is?
Most dangerous thing in the world, Mike.
A shark fart.
A shark fart. And so they asked him for a Buseyism about farting.
Fart. Yes. Stands for F-A-R-T stands for feeling a rectal transmission.
Thank you.
You got to give him credit for that
Brain
one.
And you
does
know
something.
what? We tend to forget he did all his singing in the Buddy Holly story. He can sing.
All right.
Yeah.
He just can't speak.
The Buddy Holly story back when he was thinking about becoming an actor.
That's right. That's right. Before he was doing the Donald Trump show.
Right.
So in South Africa, I love when you do your South African voice.
Hey, there, hey, Mike, did you go to the dentist yesterday and get a crown?
What happened?
You get a crown in your teeth.
In South Africa, and this full video is available at our YouTube page, Mike O'Mara Show's YouTube page.
Nice.
A neighbor left one window open in their house in South Africa.
Yes.
One window is all it needed. The house was infested with baboons.
Oh, and they're badass too.
They're bad.
They can like take a big chunk of flesh out of you.
So the neighbor goes
I
in.
just sounded like an old man, didn't I?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Hi, this is Wilford Brimley. You better watch out for and he'd say it like this, you better watch out for those baboons. Especially those baboons with diabetes. If you ever see a baboon with diabetes, he'll take a big chunk right out of your arm.
So the neighbor goes into the house after he yells at them going in the window. I wouldn't have the guts to do this.
You know what happens if you're bitten by a wild baboon that's magic?
What baboon?
You won't get any older and you won't ever die.
Wow.
I'm Wilford Brimley and I got diabetes.
Hey, Blue Steel?
Blue Steel. Cat couldn't scratch it.
So the neighbor goes in to yell at the baboons. You got to see this video. The baboon is sitting on the kitchen counter, going through the refrigerator and eating food out of the refrigerator. Here is the guy yelling at the baboon and the baboon yelling back.
Where you going? What are you doing over there? Okay, I'm going to make a way for you to get out, okay? Out the door. Out that door. Out that door. Out that door now. Get out that door. Out that door.
Baboon's ignoring him.
Out that door. I'm gonna step out for a second. You just take care. He didn't want to listen to me.
It's
but
fantastic.
aren't they dangerous?
Very
They are,
dangerous.
sure.
They're almost as dangerous as Mr. Burns would say, orangutan.
They'll tear your face off.
But it's amazing. You look at a house, it looks like a beach-styled house.
Right.
One window is open, and they're just swinging into the window. It's
my
fascinating.
God.
If you're into monkeys or chimpanzees, on HBO they have a documentary called Project Nim, and you've probably seen it, but it's new to me.
Right.
Where they chronicle this chimpanzee, that the first chimpanzee ever from NYU or Columbia University that's taught sign language, and how in the States here lived in a brownstone in New York, and then a beautiful, just estate outside of New York City.
Didn't tear anybody's face off.
Well,
though,
he
right?
ended as he got older.
Mike, that's not fair.
as
They
he got-
get older and they get nasty.
danger ensued, but this is the first they really chronicled his growth in language and sign language.
Wow.
Now he can warn you that he's going to tear your face off.
Yeah, because both baboons and it's funny that the close relatives of us, we're pretty violent, and they're pretty violent as well. When I thought if that story had come out about what's her name, Charlotte Nash, that had her face red too.
Right.
Try not to laugh when I mention that name.
You know what? I'm so proud of you for remembering the name. I
She's
would
very
really hate
brave.
to play the tape.
Yeah,
Okay,
don't
please
have
don't play the tape.
I mean,
short
I had a
time.
different closer for the vault. But,
All right,
really
all right,
short.
go
But
ahead.
what about her, Mike? You were saying about Charlotte
Well,
Nash?
if I'd known that these chimps can do this, I wouldn't have done a TV commercial with a chimpanzee back in the day.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Where I had this thing's arm around me for 9 hours, and I would have been scared out of my mind. And I had a little welt on my Adam's apple from where it grabbed me every time.
My friend!
What's the problem with your friend? I need to know.
The police stop! With a gun! With a gun! Hurry
Who
up!
wants a gun?
Please, hurry up! He's killing my girlfriend!
That's sad.
That is very.
But you know what? She's so brave.
She's very brave.
Very brave, Mike.
Yeah,
God
she's
bless
better
her.
Such an ass.
Do you want to close on that, or do you want something?
I want to close on something
a little
else.
more
Thank you.
Hey, you know what? You like to keep your finger on the pulse of the real estate.
I sure do. Constantly.
We're going to hell.
Do you know?
That's right. I'm a big flipper.
You and Barbara Corcoran?
I'm a big flipper. Flipper.
So Jessica Simpson bought Ozzy Osbourne's house. Did you know this?
Yeah.
That's a flipper.
Jessica Simpson has bought Ozzy Osbourne's house for
There you go, Conan. Spit it out.
$11.5 million. Yeah. The house comes with 5 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, a pool, and one very confused Ozzy Osbourne.
That, Mike, is your magic audio vault.
Thank you, Rob. We'll take a break, come back with Buzz and News. This is the Mike O'Mara Show, everybody. Welcome back to the Mike O'Mara Show. We're delighted to have you along with us tomorrow on the program.
Yeah.
Older men, younger women, the 10 most unhealthy fast foods, bikers beware. Really nothing funny about the story, but I'll share it because you can all laugh at me. And Rob Spiewak and why he loves John Cena.
Class act.
That's all the stuff we didn't get to on today's show.
Speaking of bikers,
Yes.
yesterday's show was phenomenal.
Yes.
And you talked about your rugby encounter.
Yes.
Yeah.
Julie Fanning was on her rugby team in college.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
And she does not look like Justin Bieber.
No,
she doesn't.
No,
that's
that's true.
interesting.
Yeah.
Did she back then?
No, she was
good.
listening to the show. She said, let Mike know.
And I know her husband. I rode with John Fanning at Meg Hawkins' ride for the
Look at
Officer
that.
Down Memorial page. It's a small family.
It really is.
We bikers.
Surprising.
Let's get right to it. Here he is, Mr. Buzz Burbank of the news. Take it away, Buzz.
Thank you, Mike. The news brought to you today by Encore Insurance Services, LLC. Those are the people who bring you this show every weeknight on 102.9 WTNT. As you know, Oscar had a great experience with Encore. We think you will, too. For a free life insurance quote, visit smartterm.com or call 866-347-5748. They do all the work. Encore compares the rates and helps you save. License and disclaimer info at smartterm.com. Let them know you appreciate them as much as we do. That's Encore Insurance Services at smartterm.com.
Want me to power down that mic for a second?
That's okay.
You just want to adjust
Sometimes I wrestle a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. I don't hear a thing.
Thank you.
That's right.
For the first time, as we mentioned earlier in the show, a male active pro athlete from a major sport in the U.S. has come out as gay. He is free agent center Jason Collins, who played with the Boston Celtics and the Washington Wizards this season. A quote from him: "If I'd had my way, someone else would have already done this. Nobody has, which is why I'm raising my hand."
And I think it's very important to acknowledge, behind everybody that's able to do something like that is a strong, powerful family.
Sure,
and his mother was a huge, huge influence on him to come out and do it when he did. So I'd like to salute his mother, Joan.
Such a bitch on TV,
Collins,
though.
Yeah.
Wow.
Joan Collins.
Part of the dynasty.
And his father, Gary.
Yeah, Gary
Who's no longer with us.
The late Gary Collins.
Gary Collins?
You know what he was great at? Hosting magazine programs. I love Gary Collins.
You're a TV
His brother Tom is still around, though.
Tom, yeah, great drink.
Yeah.
Thirsty.
The DNA of a third person, a woman, has been found on the fragments of one of the Boston bombs, and officials are now closely investigating the widow of suspected bomber Tamerlan Tsarnaev.
Am I the only one that when the story broke last night and they kept talking about female DNA, you were thinking something dirty?
Well, no,
Like maybe she was putting the bomb in a bad place?
You know the first thing I thought of?
Right.
The mother. For some evil because the
Yeah,
mother's
but I
been
thought
so
of
evil.
I thought of where the DNA came from.
Okay, thank you. You have it twisted. You like take the tragedy and just like put it out of your mind. I'm thinking more in terms of guilt and culpability.
If it is that,
you're like going, I love that.
How can this please me?
Doesn't please me. It's the way they phrased it.
I know, but
and if it is that kind of DNA from that mother, that is tragic.
That is tragic. Yes, thank you.
The DNA could belong to a bombing victim or to a clerk who sold some of the bomb ingredients to the Tsarnaev brothers, or it could be the DNA of a woman who helped the brothers build the bombs.
Joan Collins.
The FBI has now collected DNA and other evidence from Tamerlan's widow, Catherine Russell. The surviving suspect, Dzhokhar Tsarnaev, now has a high-powered lawyer. Defense attorney Judy Clark, who saved Arizona shooter Jared Lochner and Unabomber Ted Kaczynski from the death penalty, has been assigned to defend Dzhokhar.
Yeah, here's what's interesting to me. All right, so you get this kind of a defense attorney who obviously is extremely expensive, but she's not expensive for these bastards that blow people up. And look, I'm all for our criminal justice system, but this is a high-profile, obviously extremely skilled attorney.
Think she's doing it free?
Of course she's doing it for free.
Right.
She's doing it to get her press. And you know what? Yeah. Sleep well, lady. I mean, everybody's got to make their living somehow. But at the same time, talk to a few people that are directly impacted by this. Talk to some cops like I did all weekend, where that cop was just brutally murdered in cold blood up there. But let's get the high-powered, because it's on TV and all that. It's just, if he can't afford attorneys, he ought to be like every other schlub that can't afford an attorney, and you get somebody who is, court-appointed lawyer.
That's right.
That just pisses me off for some reason.
She has been assigned, but every defendant deserves the best defense they can get under our system of justice.
Well, she hasn't been assigned.
Right.
She was brought in.
Right.
She was brought in. She is volunteered to come in.
Right.
I mean, if you looked at
She
it, it's not like the court up in Boston. Oh, by the way, here's your court-appointed attorney.
But
I don't think
the
it
court
works
signed.
like that.
The court signed off on it
Right.
after she volunteered. What was thought to be a landing gear from the 9/11 attacks, found wedged between buildings in Lower Manhattan, turns out to be part of a wing. The 18-inch wide alley is now being searched for any human remains that may have been lost there. Still no explanation of the piece of rope photographed around that chunk of one of the 9/11 planes. News today about substances. We'll start with substance one, caffeine. The FDA is expanding its investigation into caffeine-laced energy drinks to include a new wave of caffeinated foods flooding the market.
Oscar.
Companies are starting to include caffeine in potato chips, jelly beans, trail mix, and chewing gum.
5-hour energy jelly beans.
Even Cracker Jacks.
Trail mix?
Yes.
Jesus.
Where can I find these?
Everywhere. 7-Eleven has the Cracker Jacks. I think. The FDA wants to know what effects all this caffeine might have on particularly kids, especially if they're getting it in various aspects of their diet. There have already been reports of illnesses and even deaths among adults who have used or overused those energy drinks.
Let's get you some 5-hour energy pancakes, because I know pancakes normally make you sleepy. Can we reverse that trend?
Yum, yum.
Oh, yeah, man. I love them with syrup.
Where did the time go? Substance 2, nicotine. New York State lawmakers, following the lead of the city council, have proposed raising the legal age to buy cigarettes from 18 to 21. Substance 3, THC. A Republican behind a bill that would ease the federal marijuana laws. As it stands, even in states where marijuana is legal for medical or recreational use, users still face the wrath of federal prosecutors. And finally, thank you, Florida.
Here we go.
In St. Augustine, a 23-year-old man has been arrested for breaking into a house, putting on a wig, smoking some weed, eating a salad, playing with a remote-controlled helicopter, and, of course,
Pony Boy,
pleasuring himself.
Oh!
My God, was this a robbery or a resort vacation?
Bada bing!
I'm Buzz Burbank on the Mike O'Mara Show.
Thank you, Buzz.
You bet.
We want to thank our sponsor, Sherry's Berries. Take care of your mom. Go to Sherry's Berries, Berries. That's berries.com, and you can double the berries for just $10 more if you type in TMOS on the microphone in the upper right-hand corner. We thank them.
Doppelberries, Mike.
Doppelberries. Hey, if you'd like to send anything to the Mike O'Mara Show, cards, letters, gifts, we'll take them all. Send it to the Mike O'Mara Show, P.O. Box 3. Manassas, Virginia 20108. We would love our own. We're number 3, so we try harder. That's the Mike O'Mara Show, Box 3, Manassas, Virginia 20108.
How often do you check the post office box?
3 times a week.
I thought a day.
Just like I water my crepe myrtle. We got to get out of here. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.
Ciao. Thank you.